everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. We're your boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and today, guys, you know who we're talking about. We're talking about David Popkins. This man is single-handedly saving the Toronto Blue Jays with his philosophy, with his plan of approach. This guy is absolutely changing these batters around, turning them from what we thought were dead bats into great bats. Before we get into it, guys, and break down this entire Blue Jays offense, hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today. So obviously in the offseason, the big topic of conversation was David Popkins, and even into spring training when the Blue Jays bats started to come alive, it looked like David Popkins' plan of approach started to work, and it started to turn some heads. Just to remind everybody of what he said back in spring training, he said, if you're not attacking, you're getting attacked in this game. It's about reminding guys that they're dangerous. He also goes on to say the famous quote that counters Don Mattingly saying, I love damage. So his whole mindset for these Blue Jays is he said, hey, go out there, be athletic, be a hitter, be aggressive, attack that pitcher, and get on base. That's the whole mindset, whereas Don Mattingly in the past said, well, why don't we square up, play defensive, and hit the ball the other way? Completely opposite mindset, right? And so far, things have been looking very good for your Toronto Blue Jays. Looking over right here at just the Blue Jays stats right now, you've got players like Bichette with a .310 batting average, 9 hits total. George Springer, which we're going to break down a lot in this video, and I also want to make a whole video just talking about George Springer and how good he's been. He's batting .429 with some of the most ungodly numbers to start the season. Then you got obviously Andres Jimenez. He's kind of doing his own thing. Will Wagner batting .389. Alejandro Kirk batting .316. Alan Roden, again, he's a young gun as well, batting .313. Tyler Heineman, Miles Straw, short sample sizes, but hello, we're batting really well. And as a team, look at that, everybody. Just in terms of the batting average, we're batting .288. That's fourth in all of Major League Baseball to begin the season. So overall, a pretty good week. Now, I know there'll be some people out there that are going to say, hey, well, what about the slug? The slug isn't there. All we're doing is hitting singles, yada, yada, yada. I get that. We're ninth in baseball in slugging. I would love to hit a little bit more home runs, but you got to imagine that some other guys are going to come around, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's right now focus in on those position players that are doing well for your Toronto Blue Jays. First of all, Bichette. We talked about him a lot already, but my goodness, he looks like he's turning around. Again, David Popkins, when he comes into this team, he's here to help guys that need it the most. And Bichette, you could argue, man, this guy needed a big bounce back in a big way, and he's helping him remind him of who he is, which is an aggressive batter. I mean, if you want to take that quote that David Popkins said right over here and apply it to and who would benefit the most out of it, it's Bichette. This guy loves to do damage and loves to be aggressive. And you can see already, looking at the Baseball Savant, that all these kind of like non-highlighted numbers, these are what he's supposed to be once a bigger sample size comes around. But you can see it's all in the red. The expected batting average, the expected slugging, the hard hit, the sweet spot. It's all up there for Bichette. And look, he's being aggressive on his pitches. Now, you look right here, if you look real close, this is all of Bichette's hits so far this season, all 9 of them. And look where the red is highlighted in the strike zone. This is from the catcher's point of view. You got balls that are down and in, fastballs, right? You got I think this is a splitter, FC, someone correct me. It might be a cutter, actually, fastball cutter. That's down and in. You got sinkers away. You got sliders down. You got a cutter down and in. He's still getting to it, and he's putting it into play. And look at the exit velocities, man, that he's putting it. This one's off the plate, and he puts 102. This one as well, this sinker away, 101 off the plate. So Bichette has really turned it around and has found himself this season, and he's doing it. And he's doing very good, to say the least. Now, George Springer, another player I wanted to highlight. And again, I'm going to break him down completely separate. And he deserves his own video, honestly. George Springer is shutting me up. He's shutting a lot of people up. And I will say this, I am so happy that I was wrong about George Springer, at least to begin this season so far. As you can see right here in Baseball Savant, all of these kind of non-full baseball percentile rankings right here, they give you a projection of what is going to happen in a bigger sample size, and my goodness, he is absolutely in the upper echelons in all of baseball in expected batting average, expected slugging, barrel, hard hit. My goodness, he's hitting every single ball right now. It looks like a completely different hitter. It looks like the George Springer of the past, and he's pulling the crap out of everything. When you look at just the baseball numbers right now, George Springer is 5th in batting average in all of baseball. In OPS, he's 13th, guys. That's unbelievable. When you go over here, this right now is exit velocities and barrels. The dude is up there amongst the best. He's sandwiched between Fernando Tatis Jr. and Brandon Lowe. Like, that's crazy. A guy who we were all counting out, maybe not a couple of you guys that are diehard George Springer fans, but we were counting this guy out, and he's coming out of the gate absolutely hot. So I got to give George Springer a lot of credit. Now, is how much of that is George Springer and how much of that is David Popkins? Well, I mean, look, I think the mentality of George Springer didn't really clash well with the mentality of Don Mattingly. George Springer was always, I'm going to grip it and I'm going to rip it. I'm going over the left field wall for a home run. Springer Dinger, that's why I got the nickname. Don Mattingly is saying, you got to hit the ball the other way and do your thing to a veteran in the league. That ain't going to work out. Now, do I know directly, is he telling him that information? Is George Springer trying to apply it? I don't know, but all I can say is this. Whatever is going on in the clubhouse right now is certainly a hell of a lot different than when it was the last couple of seasons. So George Springer, just another one of those case studies of players doing very, very well. Now, Don Mattingly isn't just a, hey, let's grip it and rip it, let's look for our pitch and do damage type of guy. He's also a very smart, hitting coach when it comes to positional baseball or situational baseball, excuse me. When the situation calls for not a grip and a rip it, not a dinger over the wall or an extra base hit, when, hey, look, we got a runner at second with nobody out. We got to get that run over to third. Hey, we got a runner at third with less than one or less out. We got to hit a sac fly and get him in. We got to put a ball in play. He also really advocates for that, and we're seeing a lot of that from the Toronto Blue Jays as well. Right here, you had, this is also our buddies from Blue Jays Nation. Shout out to Blue Jays Nation. Right here, this is another quote from David Popkins back in spring training saying, my philosophy is built off creativity, trying to become the most creative lineup in scoring runs in baseball, and we do that by practicing all the different situations and clubs in the game, right? He's saying overall it's about showing guys different ways and areas we need to use a different club. Sometimes it's grinding an at-bat and a walk. Sometimes it's shooting the ball the other way. Sometimes it's hitting the ball out of the yard. There are a lot of different ways to get the job done, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. And the Blue Jays have done a very good job in doing that this season. Looking at the expanded stats, look at this. Sack flies already. You got Guerrero with 1. Kirk with 1, Alan Roden with 1, Ernie Clement with 1. That's 5, am I reading? Oh, it's 4, excuse me, sack flies already from the Toronto Blue Jays. Look at also the sack bunts. Will Wagner with 1, Ernie Clement with 1. And hell, there are some things in here that you're not going to see. There's a couple bunt hits mixed in the middle of that too. A couple balls, ground balls hit up the middle that scores a runner from third. This is good situational baseball. I've seen this from Alejandro Kirk. I've seen this from Bichette, who's even off to a hot start. You think he'd be chasing hits in a career year? I'm seeing this guy poke the ball the other way with the runner at second, trying to advance him over to third with less than 1 out. That's phenomenal baseball. Good situational hitting, and it's producing, again, a lot of runs for the Toronto Blue Jays. We're one of the best teams right now in scoring runs, 7th in all of baseball in just the 7-game sample size. So overall, guys, these Blue Jays have been very, very good. Now, you might be sitting here thinking, well, not everybody's benefiting from David Popkins. What about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? What about Anthony Santander? These guys are struggling out of the gate, and they are. Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only, must be 19 years older to participate, and guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content. They are struggling out of the gate. I'm not going to lie to you. When you look over here at who's not doing well, looking down at the bottom part of this hit list, you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. batting .222 with an OPS of .623. You also got Anthony Santander batting as well, .222 with an OPS of .559. I will say this, David Popkins, and being a hitting coach, he said that he wants to talk to everybody. He wants to treat everybody like a superstar. Granted, there's some veterans in here that just kind of know what they need, and they may not need an extra hand or extra help. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. figured it out all on his own last year, right? He figured out how to be an MVP type of player all on his own, and it all came back to his whole situational thing with, doing a three-part load, in stride that kind of made him good. That made him phenomenal last year. And then Anthony Santander, a veteran. He comes over here from Baltimore. He kind of wants to do what he's been doing. There's no need to change anything. This guy hit 44 bombs last year. And also, I'll throw this into the mix. Both players have been, in their history, a slow starter to their seasons. Looking at Anthony Santander, this is his career splits by month. Looking at April and March, dude bats .213 with an OPS of .659 throughout his entire career. He's known to be a slow starter. And then look at May, June, July, August. He gets really hot in the summers. Once the season and the weather warms up, he gets really, really hot. And as well as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I believe right now this is his career numbers. He's been always a great hitter in the month of April and March. But if you just want to take to what he did last year and take that sample size, he was also off to a very slow start. If you remember, we were all thinking Vladdy was done. He was absolutely cooked. But you can see right here in the month of April and March, as I'm going to bring it up right here, 2024, he was off to a very slow start. His OPS was .678 with a batting average of .229. So, and again, this is what Vladdy is. Also, Vladdy's playing with a whole new pressure on himself right now that he's trying to get a contract, so maybe that's playing into a bit of a factor. But regardless, I think we can all take a deep breath knowing that these guys are going to turn around. I mean, Vladdy is basically a veteran. Anthony Santander is one. But everybody who needs help right now, the young guys, Alejandro Kirk has something to prove. George Springer is trying to save his career, as well as Bichette bouncing back to who he is. All those guys that needed the help are doing very well, and they can tip their cap and give some thanks. And we all got to give some thanks to David Popkins for his great, approach to the team. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit that like button, subscribe to Blue Jays today. $4 a month to become a YouTube member. Shout out and thank you to all of our YouTube members. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, guys, go Jays go.